Ladies and gentlemen, there is so much going on with the Raiders on and off the field, and some of these stories are so insane I was reluctant to even talk about it. We have an injury update on Davante Adams, and we also have an update on the Broncos player that targeted Jakobi Meyers. Also, head coach Josh McDaniels got testy with reporters when asked about the deep ball issues. And of course, we have an update on Chandler Jones. What the hell is going on, and why is he still on the Raiders active roster? Let's get right into it. Like and subscribe for more Raiders content. So we know yesterday Davante Adams took a devastating hit against the Buffalo Bills, and the stupid part about this is this was in garbage time. This is when the game was pretty much already over, but instead genius Josh McDaniels decided to keep his star player on the field, which is really odd because on the same drive he had taken Josh Jacobs out of the game, had Zamir White in the game instead, but kept Davante Adams out there. And of course, Davante Adams took that huge hit, had to go to the medical tent, had to leave the game a little bit early. But fortunately for the Raiders, Josh McDaniels said today at the press conference that Davante Adams is good to go, and it looks like he'll be ready for the matchup this Sunday night in Las Vegas on prime time against the Pittsburgh Steelers. And this is great news for the Raiders because Jakobi Meyers, who suffered a devastating hit against the Denver Broncos last week, well, Josh McDaniels said today that he is actually still in concussion protocol, so we're not quite sure if Meyers is going to be available for this week 3 matchup. And what's so insane is the dude who did the nasty hit against Jakobi Meyers ended up doing another nasty hit in this past game against the Washington Commanders. Kareem Jackson ended up being ejected from this matchup, and this is 2 weeks in a row where we have seen this Denver Broncos player make some nasty hits. So Kareem Jackson put Jakobi Meyers in concussion protocol last week, and this week he's putting Logan Thomas in concussion protocol. And if the league really cared about safety, they would discipline this player, but they have done absolutely nothing. We know Jackson was fine last week for the Jakobi Meyers hit. Who knows if he'll be fine this week for this one on Logan Thomas. But what's so stupid is that Jakobi Meyers last week was actually fined for unsportsmanlike conduct just because he celebrated after scoring 2 touchdowns against the Denver Broncos. What the hell does that have to do with player safety? Let the freaking star wide receiver celebrate. But Josh McDaniels was not able to celebrate too much after this L against the Buffalo Bills. Okay, and keep in mind, this is a coach who has made some crucial roster decisions and believes the Raiders have gotten much better with all the decisions that he has decided to make. We know Dave Ziegler is technically the Raiders GM, but Josh McDaniels and Ziegler were a package deal. They're college buddies, and McDaniels has his paws over every single roster move. And so McDaniels naturally is a little defensive and a little offended by reporters when they ask questions about the inefficiency of the Raiders offense, in particular, the deep ball by Jimmy G.
That is not be able to throw downfield right now. Defenses are packing the box a little bit more and maybe try to loosen that up to give Josh more running lanes.
I'm not sure I understand what the question is.
Not being able to throw the ball downfield effectively right now, do you think that's been...
I don't think that's a problem. I think we threw the ball downfield yesterday some. We threw it, there's opportunities that we have, maybe haven't converted on, or some other things that go on those things, but I don't think that's really a big factor in this. I think we got to do a lot of things better, if we want to run the ball the way we can run the ball.
And McDaniels can try to pretend that this is not a concern, but this is something that every fan has noticed, and the numbers back it up. Jimmy Garoppolo is still 21st, almost last place in deep ball attempts, with only 5 deep ball attempts, ending in 64 yards and 3 receptions. And these deep ball attempts aren't even that crazy. These are 20-yard attempts according to PFF, and Jimmy G is 21st least amount of those attempts. And the big question that this reporter was getting at was mainly Josh Jacobs, the fact that this guy had -2 rushing yards. And keep in mind, this is the first time in NFL history that a defending rushing champion, the man who led the NFL in rushing yards last year, it's the first time since a guy like that finished a game with less rushing yards since the league merger in 1970. So literally a running back who did that great last year has never done this poorly in a single game. And the main question that these reporters are bringing up frustrates Josh McDaniels because I believe there's so much validity to it. Is Josh Jacobs having less success running the football because defenses are playing up and they're not worried about the deep ball from Jimmy Garoppolo? But it is also Josh McDaniels not dialing up those plays, not taking those shots with Jimmy G. It could be a possibility that Jimmy G could make these throws if given an opportunity, or maybe McDaniels will blame the quarterback and fans will be chanting for Aiden O'Connell pretty soon because we saw this guy air it out in preseason plenty. We know the Raiders defense is not good, but I don't blame these people. The offense is vastly underperforming. It's paid to be much better than the defense. We all knew that we did not invest this much in the defensive side of the football, and that is why the Raiders are allowing the highest completion percentage through 2 games in the NFL, and this is actually some of the highest completion percentage in NFL history through 2 games. 2023, Raiders 81.7%. The Raiders defense allowed Russell Wilson and Josh Allen to completely pick them apart. But I really do think that all focus needs to be on the offensive side of the football, especially when you're paying Josh Jacobs, you're paying Devontae Adams, you're paying Jimmy Garoppolo. You're also paying Hunter Renfrow, who has not been utilized that much at all. Only 1 target in the 2023 season so far through 2 games. And it's crazy that that target ended in a 20-yard reception for Hunter Renfrow. Josh McDaniels was asked about the lack of Hunter Renfrow use.
There's been some missed opportunities on our part, but I don't think that's a function of Hunter. We got to do a lot of things better. You know, he should have gotten the ball more than he did yesterday. I think there was more opportunities in that, but.
And it seems like McDaniels is blaming himself and also partially blaming the quarterback, basically saying that there are moments that Hunter Renfrow is open and they haven't gotten to him, and also that they need to do a better job dialing it up. And it's just so weird because I know that Josh McDaniels is a competent offensive coordinator from his time in New England. The jury is still out on if he's a good head coach. I mean, he might just be a horrible head coach, but a decent coordinator. And you know this guy knows how to get people the football. It seems like a deliberate decision from my perspective, in my opinion, to not get Hunter Renfrow the football. It makes many people like myself believe that perhaps this guy is on the trade block. Look, if the Raiders get the dub against the Steelers this Sunday at home, they can get back on track and boost some morale. But I think reality is starting to cave in on us. We're starting to realize that Broncos W might have been a fluke, especially given the fact that the Broncos were decimated with injuries. And the Raiders have more difficult problems than Josh McDaniels' incompetence. And also have to deal with some of the problems they're facing right now from a player who is still actively on the roster. Chandler Jones has turned his attention towards Raiders owner Mark Davis away from Josh McDaniels, away from general manager Dave Ziegler. Obviously, he was not allowed to work out in the Raiders facility. He made this claim. The Raiders never disputed this claim. The Raiders haven't really said crap about this. And honestly, the rest of the NFL and the NFL media has not said much about this. He had to go work out at a local gym, and he doubled down on this claim today in an Instagram video, which was quite odd. Chandler Jones is shirtless in this video, flexing, and he's saying that he's still in the local gym and can't work out at the facility because he wore a hoodie to work. Trayvon Martin making reference to a news story that happened a very long time ago. And so this is kind of odd and makes us think, hey, maybe Chandler Jones is not well. Some people say that he looks skinny in that video. I think he's a very tall guy. I'm not exactly going to say that he's undersized as a defensive end. He still does have quite a bit of muscle, and I still believe the Raiders could be using him. And I also believe that it's quite odd that the Raiders are not using him. And if they're not going to use him, you would think they would get rid of this guy because of his conduct on social media. He's made claims that Marky Mark has a secret that only he knows, and that's the reason why he is not playing. This would be categorized as conduct detrimental to the team. He slandered the organization, slandered the owner, and previously slandered the head coach and the general manager. It's really odd that the Raiders have not released this guy or found a way to get out of his contract. Those 53-man roster spots are very valuable, and Josh McDaniels had nothing to say when asked about Chandler Jones.
Or how troublesome is it to kind of manage a team?
No update. We just manage it the best we can. You know what I mean? So, like I said, it's a personal, private matter, and I mean, there's nothing until there's something that, you know, that I can talk about. There's not much I can talk about.
And it brings us to what Chandler Jones' claims were on Sunday after the game. and this is where it gets really serious. We really hope that there is no truth to any of the claims that Chandler Jones is making. Viewer discretion is advised as we go forward and read some of Chandler Jones' latest tweets. This is a very sensitive topic, and this is something that I take very seriously. And because I take this seriously, I want to make it very clear that these are only allegations from Chandler Jones on social media. He could be making this up. He could be out of his mind. There's all possibilities. We don't know. This is just one guy saying random things on the internet, and I want to make it very clear that these are allegations. There's nothing certain here. Wow, breaking news right now in this video as I was recording. Chandler Jones just posted this on his Twitter account. We got a hold of my account. My apologies again. And this is an image saying, sorry for the mix-up. I was hacked. Please forgive me, with the halo emoji. It is very difficult to believe that Chandler Jones has been hacked for the past 2 weeks, especially given the fact that he has posted videos of himself talking about all these allegations that he has deleted off his Twitter account.
To spook me? Man, TMZ hit my phone, man. Your boy got pictures, text messages. McDaniel Ziegler.
Now, this was all posted during the game. This is what has been deleted. Chandler Jones saying, MD, didn't know I didn't have any kids and I was fostering a very important man's kid. I won't say his name, but once I found out what was done to this little girl, I wasn't allowed back into the building. And this gets a lot crazier, and this is what he's just claiming, oh, my bad, an accident, I was just hacked. And then he goes on to say, I'm single with no kids, but me and this man had an agreement. Mark didn't know about it. Now he's paying for it. So he's deliberately attacking Mark Davis. He has made some comments about Larry Fitzgerald. And then in reference to the Bills-Raiders matchup, he said this, which I thought was really crazy. That's why I couldn't get a sack today, because people wanted to rap my stepdaughter and not expect me to get upset. I think you guys all know what word he was really trying to type out, but this was the serious allegation, basically implying that somebody within the Raiders organization did something to his stepdaughter, and that is why he is not playing. And this is the big one that got over 1 million views on Twitter. He has since deleted, claims he's hacked now. He says this, Chandler Jones, now you taking money out of my pocket. Here I am watching my team lose because someone was M-word my goddaughter. So this is the really intense allegation that he is saying. Basically, someone within the organization had done an unspeakable act, unspeakable crime to his goddaughter, even though previously he said stepdaughter. And it's very confusing to follow the train of thought from Chandler Jones. Makes it seem like he's just not all there mentally, especially given the fact that he keeps deleting these messages and now he's saying he got hacked. Either way, I think we want to hope that all these allegations by Chandler Jones are completely false. Perhaps he's taken some bad medication. Perhaps he's just not right mentally, and that's the reason why he's making these claims. But I think there are some fans who have taken Chandler Jones' claims more seriously because they do find it suspect that the Raiders have not moved on from this guy, have not freed up the roster spot due to conduct detrimental to the team. Makes it seem like maybe he does have some blackmail on somebody in the Raiders organization. But now that he's backtracking, now that he's saying, oh, I was just hacked, now that he's deleting all kinds of things off social media, hopefully we can now have some closure, and hopefully we'll be safe to say that this is just him acting up and none of the things he is claiming are exactly true. I do not think this Chandler Jones story is quite done yet, and we'll keep you up to date on any information we find out about it. But I think the best decision for everybody is to reserve judgment on both parties and take this very seriously and wait until more facts come out. But the Raiders are facing the Steelers on Sunday Night Football. They really need to get back on track. If they lose this game at home in Vegas, I think things can start to spiral out of control for Josh McDaniels and the Raiders this season. Let me know your thoughts on all this in the comments below and what you think is going to happen this Sunday night. My name is WiFiWillie. Peace out, and I hope you have a good one.